Welcome to the BrothSyndi MyTeam show. I am your host, Jan Moses, here to talk about the first week of NBA 2K26 MyTeam with my esteemed co-host, Harry, who is going to let the world know whether or not he got NBA 2K26 and is playing MyTeam. So, Harry, go ahead. The world is wondering, what is your status when it comes to NBA 2K26 and the MyTeam game mode?
Well, listen, if you would have asked me this literally like a few days before, or maybe even a few days to a week before NBA 2K26 dropped, I would have told you there's probably no way I'm coming back. But they got me. They got me for good reason, as I will get into why I decided to get the game. But I am back on my team for NBA 2K26.
Okay, awesome. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about why it is that you came back, as we're going to kickstart a new segment when it comes to these BrothSyndi My Team show episodes, at least the ones that I do with Harry in this podcast format. And we're going to call this segment for now Icebreakers, where we're going to lead the podcast with some topic that's, ideally my team related, that we are really passionate about one way or another. Maybe it's because we're really excited about it. Maybe it's because we're really negative towards it. And if there's anything that we know about Harry that's guaranteed, he will be passionate about something in one of these pods. And I think for the first time in a long time, his icebreaker may not be a negative one. Harry, the floor is yours. What is your icebreaker 1 week into NBA 2K26 My Team?
Yeah, so 1 week into NBA 2K26, I will be talking about the gameplay. I've talked about this a lot, but I guess to do a quick little summary if you've never been here. But gameplay is a big factor for me. I mean, that's pretty much the reason. Like, I've always loved 2K, especially some of the earlier games. Like, I used to be very big into the dribbling world, and I've, mastered my craft at that and became very good at dribbling. And then, it felt like for many years, it seems I really have not enjoyed the gameplay, and I don't think I ever fully realized that. And year after year, I would play my team. I would like it in the beginning, and then I would just get so burnt out from not enjoying the game itself that I would quit. And I think it kind of hit me last year specifically. I always went back to some of the older 2Ks, whether 2K17, 2K16, and I never kind of thought twice about it. I just always really loved those games. And it kind of hit me playing it, one of the days last year, that the reason I always went back to play those games is because of how much I love the gameplay. I love how fast paced, I love the dribbling, I love the shooting. I just love everything about it. And it kind of hit me on even a bigger note that I have not even enjoyed a 2K gameplay since before next gen, which is insane,
Yeah.
especially given the fact that I'm mainly a 2K player. That's like the only game I really play. So to think that I spent all this money for a PS5 and I really have not enjoyed a 2K pretty much. And not only that, but I just realized, I guess in general, how big gameplay is to me. I look back on some of my teams I love the most, like 2K16, 2K17, there really wasn't a lot to do on the grand scheme of things. You had domination, you had online, that was pretty much it. You had the gauntlet. But the reason I didn't care so much was because I loved the gameplay. And then you look at the next gen years where like it seemed like you could literally play the game all day if you wanted, with so many different modes and content and so many things to do. But if that part of me of liking the gameplay wasn't fulfilled, then it wasn't enough to get me on the game.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't enough to keep me on the game all year. And I really think that 2K25 and 2K24, I think 2K24, I didn't hate the gameplay, but I really didn't love it. And 2K25 was my least favorite 2K of all time. That was the earliest I've ever quit a 2K. I quit, I think, literally in season 2. And normally with me, if I quit a 2K, I'll always end up coming back. I'm like a dog that might run away, and I'll always find his way back to his owner. This
Yeah.
was the first year I did not come back. I had no interest. I had no urge at all. I was seeing Jen grow his MT, do this and do that, and I had no interest in coming back. They really did damage. And I don't think just gameplay, because I think gameplay, it was the slowest gameplay. The dribbling was the worst, I've ever seen on a 2K. But I think content-wise too, I think 2K, the last couple of years in general, have slowly kind of burnt away any sort of goodwill, I think, with their core audience. And I think last year really did a lot of damage, so much to the point where, Jan will always make fun of me, but whenever it comes time to that blog season where you find out what's going to be in the next 2K, that's something for me that, like, that could turn a year where I hate 2K and get me excited. It's like Christmas or Hanukkah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
always so hyped for the next 2K. 2K, it's kind of like, bygones be bygones. I forget all about what I hated about the previous game, and I'm ready for that next game. But this was the first year, and Jan can attest, not only did I have no excitement, but I was actually like completely like negative on pretty much any new feature that was being added. Like Jan was so hyped for the new things they were adding during the stream and this and that, or maybe not excited, but he was more intrigued, and I just did not care. And I really thought, this could be the first year I not only not play my team, but I don't get 2K, because like I said, I had no problem playing a 2K17 and a 16 forever, because I don't need gameplay, I don't need content to keep me happy, to keep me going. I just need fun basketball gameplay. And then literally the week before launch of the 7-day free whatever where you could play the game early, they had community day, and that to me was like the biggest game changer that's ever happened for me in years, because I was blown away by what I saw. I was seeing fast-paced gameplay. I was seeing a more offense-driven 2K, something I've been wanting for so many years, and it like blew me away. I couldn't believe how much fun the game looked, and for the first time I got excited to play 2K, not because of some content or some bogus thing they're gonna promise they're gonna do for us. I got excited because I wanted to play a basketball game, and I haven't had that feeling in several years of 2K. And at first I was like, maybe I'll get 2K. It looks fun, but maybe I won't play my team. I'll play Park. I'll play my career. I'll enjoy the game for what it is. And I think a couple days went by, and the more I saw clips and highlights of the dribbling and the gameplay and the speed and how offense driven it was, I was like, if there was any year I wanted to play a 5v5 basketball game, it was this year. Like, it looked so much fun. I felt like I was doing myself a disservice, someone who has loved my team for so many years. I felt like I was doing myself a disservice not playing the game. And I texted Jan. I was like, you know what? This is going to be the year. I want to give my team a chance. Not because of something I'm promising a blog or a lie that they're probably giving me, or some vague terminology that's going to trick me like maybe other years where I was more innocent and younger. I just wanted to play because of the game. And to quickly wrap this up, because I know I've gone for a long time,
No, you're doing
but
great.
This is the most fun I've had playing in my team in 2K. Like I said, so many years, but 2K26. Maybe 6-7 years since, I think 2K19 was the last year I loved a gameplay. This is that year. I haven't loved it that much. And, it doesn't matter the content or, there's so many things in this game that I might complain about, that I've complained about for years now. But I told Jan, if you were to take this My Team and put it in any other 2K, maybe last year with the gameplay, I probably would not be nearly this positive. If anything, I'd probably be burning it down. But because I'm loving the gameplay so much, and there's so much to do with that gameplay, whether Park, whether Breakout, all these different modes, for me, that's the fun. That to me is the importance of that's what I prefer. Other people might be different, but to wrap it up, I'm really enjoying this 2K. It's the most fun I've had the first week in a long time. And then, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of people in the community who are not only coming back to the game, who are in my shoes that haven't played in a while, or also like me, and realizing how much gameplay has negatively impacted their experience for years, because I don't think we've ever seen this positive of a launch. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are realizing that, like, I think 2K has strongly needed a more offense-driven, fast-paced game for a long time. And defense could definitely be better, but I think that's the main point. I think a lot of people are enjoying it for that reason. So I'm sorry that's gone on for so long. I hope I articulated that as well as I could.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really think you did. I think, to your point, like, I don't think you went on that long. And honestly, even if you feel like you did, I feel like that's an appropriate amount of time to dedicate towards a part of the game that I think is obviously a really important part of the game, right? Gameplay is, I think, a big factor in people's enjoyment. And I think, like you were kind of alluding to, like, you didn't even really recognize how valuable gameplay was to your enjoyment level whenever you're playing NBA 2K games. And so
No, it's like I quit every year not realizing really why I'm I was all of a sudden I would go from really positive to really negative without really thinking what made that switch. And it was just that the content could be amazing, which it could be the perfect content, which obviously is not really a 2K thing, but there's only so much grind that you can do on 2K not enjoying the gameplay itself to where you don't get burnt out. It's impossible. So that was me every year. I was getting burnt out from the beginning of the game to maybe some point in the middle, maybe to the end. Last year it was right in the beginning because I hated the gameplay that much that I was really just playing I was playing for the destination and not enjoying the journey whatsoever. and there's only so much that you can do that, so long you can do that without finally hitting your limits.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think that was all very well said, all very well articulated. My icebreaker is going to be a game mode that I thought was one of the biggest flops in the history of my team. I think I said so in mid-August when I was going over all the different game modes, when I was reviewing the courtside report from August 2024, from last year. And that is Breakout. Breakout is back with a vengeance. Harry's now actually on the Breakout train after grinding out some domination to begin the week, the first week of NBA 2K26 My Team. I want to just talk about a few things. I'm not going to really spend too much time talking about it because I want Harry to also share his input on Breakout as well. There are a couple of things. I want to start with 2K taking a recommendation that I didn't give them. I'm a very small YouTube channel, as you guys know, or BrothSyndi is a very small YouTube channel, rather. And I was just making a video basically as someone who sides with the people who like to play this game offline only, because even if I do play online here and there, I haven't really played much online to start this year, but in previous years of my team, if I came home after like a long day of work and I had like 30 minutes to play, I wanted to boot up a game of Triple Threat Offline or Clutch Time Offline in previous 2Ks, grind out a couple of games, and then feel like it was pretty casual. I didn't have to like sweat. I wasn't frustrated with the shooting. And then I was getting something, even if it wasn't a great reward or even a good reward, at least I had something to walk away with. If I were to apply that same strategy to Breakout last year, and I only played for 30 minutes, there was a good chance I was only walking away with like 700 MT after 30 minutes. And that would be because, well, if I just started a new Breakout run, I was not going to see any rewards, any mini games until I got to the edges. And now we finally have that. Is it perfect? No. I still think offline games from, or offline game modes from previous years have a lot of better features than what we have with Breakout, right? Like, I still miss getting mini games after every single win, but it's nice to see mini games are actually implemented on the Breakout board in a way that makes sense, because it is kind of like a board game. And I like that they're kind of like Joker squares where you land on it and it's kind of like, oh nice, I got this, and it'll keep your path alive. You can, if you're going like up and down on the Breakout board, you win a game and then all of a sudden you see it pop up, you can take that reward. It's not going to affect your lives, and then you can move on to that next square. And speaking of lives, that recommendation that I was alluding to earlier was being able, if you had multiple lives left in your Breakout run, to take multiple rewards and have a reward take a life away. I thought that made a lot of sense to me in October of last year when I talked about it. It's really nice to see 2K actually implement a change that I don't think is going to make the community like rich MT wise or rich in terms of like the quality of their lineup, but it's going to at least throw a bone. Like, it's 2K's way of throwing a bone to the offline grinders. It's going to give you a reason to grind the game. And if you go on like YouTube streams or on Twitch streams, I'm seeing people who play my team who would only play Park or Salary Cap or Showdown. A lot of them are saying, I'm having a lot of fun grinding Breakout right now. And I think that's in large part because of all these changes that they made to that reward structure. There's that Breakout exchange now, and it just feels like Breakout in general is less confusing. Last year I said a couple of times that I felt like the most exciting part of Breakout in 2K25 My Team was the mystery of it. And once the mystery of Breakout was uncovered, it ended up being a total waste of time. A game mode that was really not worth playing unless you had agendas that you wanted to get done offline and you didn't want to boot up a challenge game or a game of domination. So it's really nice to see 2K kind of making the game mode feel a little more simple and a lot more rewarding by giving us multiple rewards per Breakout run. You can walk away, if you don't lose a game, with as many as 5 different rewards, which is amazing. So in most of my runs, for example, I'm walking away with a Breakout exchange piece from the current era board, and then anywhere from like 10 to 15,000 MT in rewards on average, which is great. All the while I'm grinding towards that ladder to get 250 wins in Triple Threat Offline and Clutch Time Offline to get Jack Sigma in my case, which is awesome. We're going to talk about Gauntlet a little later on. Harry and I have not played the game mode, but we do want to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the game modes a little bit later. Before we move on we have one last smaller icebreaker. Harry, what are your thoughts on Breakout now that you just started playing it pretty recently?
Yeah, it's funny. I think the reason I didn't even start Breakout, early the first. I mean, I always play domination the first
Yes,
week.
you always do.
For me, but I think I always do exactly. But I think for me, breakout became kind of like a meme. Like I think last year it was like. I don't even want to say last year. It was the worst mode we've ever had in 2K.
Yeah.
The most unrewarding thing to where, like Jan said, you could play that and not walk away with literally anything. Like you completely wasted your time. You hardly grew your MT. You didn't really gain any players. It was like I kind of felt bad for Jen. Jen always would make comments about me, like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Jan and Breakout. I mean, how many breakout boards did you complete early on before you were finally like, this is so pointless?
Dude,
You're not
too
gaining
many,
anything.
man. Too many.
And then this year, for all the Harry Potter fans, Breakout is like the Neville Longbottom of Harry Potter.
Oh God.
They picked him as this goofy, not the kid that didn't look great, not a good-looking kid by any means. And all of a sudden, by like movie 6, he's like the most good-looking guy in the movie, the cast. It didn't make any sense. Just they had a great summer, he had puberty, and boom. This is to me his breakout. It went from the worst mode of all time to arguably the most rewarding mode maybe in MyTeam history. It's insane.
Wow.
Like I've seen people walk away making so much MT that's like unfathomable to me because 2K does not like to reward you with MT. When I see people get 10k, 5k, 7.5k MT spots just for playing a little game of breakout, obviously you have to work to get there, but I mean they're quick games you can get done very easily. It blows me away. I started playing today, which is why I'm glad that we could talk about it, just because I have experience playing. But you can walk away doing pretty well. I mean, I was telling Jan, I would try to get those breakout tokens as quick as you can because it doesn't make any logical sense to me because it's the easiest grind by far out of any of those things. You look at the 350 park games, 6,000 points for salary cap, which is a whole other disaster. And then you look at 3 breakout tokens, which you can get one pretty much in under an hour, maybe if you're pretty efficient. So it blows my mind that you can get a pink diamond in possibly under 13 hours, which you cannot do that in any other mode, any other mode to get that pink diamond. So one, I want to preface, if you hear this, I would just do that. Watch Jan's breakout 101 video if you're new to it, because he does a great job explaining how it works. Because it helped me for sure, because I didn't play one breakout mode or board yet last year, so I was very confused how to play this year. But I think it's great. I love that there's a purpose for everything, because I'm someone that prioritizes MT. So for me, the idea of playing breakout last year with the hope of maybe getting a promo card or maybe getting deluxe packs, that just doesn't do it for me. But the fact that you can now get both, you can play a breakout mode, you can get your 80 plus packs, your deluxe packs, you could maybe even get lucky enough to see a promo card, a pink diamond, a diamond, but you're pretty much guaranteed at a minimum to get some solid MT. I mean, Jan was telling me, I think a few days ago, on average you can maybe make 15 19k if you're lucky an hour, or not an hour, a breakout session, which is really good.
Yeah.
So I like that there's something for everybody, new and old. If you want your player, it could be great for getting the pick diamond. If you want MT, and I like that also, and then I'll end it. I like that you can pick how you want to play. Like for me, I just get bored playing on easier difficulty. So I wasn't the biggest fan of playing on rookie and grinding out those objectives. Like for me, I have more fun playing on all-star, which then later on you play superstar, Hall of Fame level games, and then you don't have to worry about the objectives. Like for me, that's more fun for me.
Yeah.
But I like that it's not like you have to play in Hall of Fame to get better rewards. I like that you can kind of pick your poison. Do you want to focus on the objectives? You can chill out, play on pro, rookie, or do you want to just worry about winning the game and not have to worry about the objectives? Then you could do that. So I kind of like that you get different, you can play the way you want, but also ultimately end up getting the same reward. And so I'm really impressed. I think it had an insane glow up, and I'm really happy for Jen because I'm happy for me, of course, that I can grind the game and make good MT progress, because I've been dying for that for literally years. I don't think 2K has ever had a mode as rewarding as this for MT. But I mean, if anyone deserved a good breakout thing, it's Jen, because I think he's an offline grinder at its core. I like offline grinding too, but I mean, that's Jan's, that's his triple threat for me. I love triple threat. That's his thing. So I'm glad that he gets to have a fun year of being able to grind. So I just hope it doesn't get patched, because I'm worried the token thing will get patched. So if you're hearing this now, just try to get that done. But worst comes to worst, I think it's a great mode to grind for players, MT, for everything.
No, definitely. And I will say, I do enjoy offline grinding quite a bit, for sure. I definitely think this would be, offline grinding is my thing. I think Clutch Time Online is also my thing. I'm obviously still
Sure.
butthurt that we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
not get that in this game, but I will gladly take, if we're not gonna have Clutch Time Online, I will gladly take Breakout looking like
Just a way to
this.
casually, again, to put a bow on it, just a way to casually play my team without having to spend all your time, all your money. You could just play a board and come out on top, making good progress. That's
Sure.
what it should always been. Last year, there was no sense of that. You either had to grind hours and hours and hours to make any sort of progress for MT, for players. This, you can literally play a breakout session in like an hour and make good progress, which is incredible.
Yeah, and if you think about it, the last point I'll make on Breakout for this section is if you combine both of our icebreakers and you look at where we were at a year ago, where we had awful gameplay in your book and awful Breakout in both of our books, it's a recipe for disaster. That's why I think Breakout was such a flop. So really nice to see it be in the state that it's in currently. To Harry's point, hopefully 2K doesn't take anything away from Breakout, and if anything, they continue to add to it, because this is a great start, but the key word there is start. They need to build on this throughout the year. Harry, before we move on to the game modes, there is one more smaller Breakout that I know you wanted to talk about, and I, funny enough, wanted to talk about it as well. So I want you to talk about it because I give you a lot of credit. You were the first person to bring this point up to me. And I don't think a lot of you guys probably even recognize that this is actually a change that 2K made this year. So, Harry, what is this sneaky little icebreaker that you have in store for everybody? Wait, Harry, can you hear me?
You can hear me, right?
Now I can. Yes.
Okay, I was having some mic issues. All right, we're back.
Okay.
Yes, so one thing I do want to bring up that I feel like I want to say no one has brought up, because I haven't seen anyone talk about this, is free agent cards.
Yes.
And I think people might laugh or roll their eyes when they hear this, because free agent cards have practically been like a meme, I would say, for the past forever, since the dawn of 2K, because it hasn't mattered at all. And I think Jen even kind of made a good point when we were texting about it a while ago. Like when you play someone on Park, when you play someone online and they have free agent cards, you automatically, it's like the brown equivalent of wearing a brown shirt in Park. You're a beginner, you have no players, you're using the players they give you just for opening MyTeam, and that's what it used to be, and it meant nothing. And honestly, and beyond that, it served no purpose because it never correlated with the card at all. It used to always be a watered down card. No badges, no, the SIGs would always be off, the attributes would always be off. So it would be like, what are we trying? It literally was just for that beginner player to get on MyTeam and have some cards to use. But this year, out of nowhere, because they had no mention of this in the blog, they had no mention of this anywhere, they've completely revamped the free agent. Not only are they actually correlated with the card in the promo, but they actually go in that collection, which I think is awesome. Like if you get a free agent DeMarcus Cousins, he's going to be in that collection promo section, which it's like the real card. It has the real card design, it has the real stats, the real badges. So for me, I don't view free agent as a quote-unquote brown shirt who doesn't have any players or MT to buy players. I see it as what it should have been to begin with, which is a tryout to see if you like the card. I mean, I think it's perfect for someone who's not a whale, who is like a no money spent grinder, who can get that DeMarcus Cousins and say, you know what, I love that card, I tried it in triple threat, I really liked him, I like the shot, I like the SIGs, I like him enough to where I'm gonna go buy him off the auction house. I think it's perfect. Like I think it's awesome, and I like that you get them a lot. Like I think this is also the most free agents I've had from grinding the game in a while, and that used to be like a slap. Like, oh, a free agent card, it's a waste of reward. Now I'm kind of excited to see who I get, because if I get someone as good as like a free agent Wemby or whatever, that could be a card that I not only use to dominate on an online mode like triple threat or showdown or whatever, but that could be maybe the only chance I have to use a card like Wemby because he's so expensive. But also maybe I'll love him so much that I'll say maybe that's worth the million MT or whatnot that I would have to spend on it. So I'm really impressed. So I think with the free agent cards, I think that it's been bad for so many years that it's hard to kind of reframe your brain around it, because it's become so, it's like I said, it was such a meme that I kind of recommend to all of you guys to kind of reframe your mindset to that and really try to look at the positives, because like I said, I think it's an awesome way to try out cards and be able to test them online. I think it's perfect. So I'm really glad that 2K put a lot of work into it. and they didn't even have to mention it, which I think is cool. They just put it in the game, and they were kind of seeing if people would notice.
Yeah, I mean, you could ask Harry. I'm pretty sure I told him once we got that courtside report that basically anything good that 2K is going to bring to the game this
Yeah,
year
yeah.
is going to be mentioned in that. And so if we don't get anything mentioned, then it's not going to be anything good, or it's just not going to exist, right? Like we didn't hear about
I mean, this
the clutch
hasn't
time.
even been something they've said at all now. Like they asked for no pat on the back for this, which I think
Yeah,
is awesome. They just put
which,
in the game.
and I will say, to be fair, this is like in the grand scheme of things, it's a very
And
minute thing,
nothing.
right? Like we're not
Sure.
saying like, oh,
Yeah.
2K is gonna get an A plus for
Yeah, yeah,
season
yeah.
one because they made free agents much better than what they were. But
Right.
exactly to Harry's point, when we first got free agents, the concept of it was actually really cool to me. And what I originally wanted was for us to be able to actually buy free agent versions of cards from the auction house, almost as if we had like a mini player market back then, but
Right.
just for free agent cards, so that if you didn't know if were gonna like Oscar Robertson's jumper or his different dribble sigs and stuff like that, you could try him out for like maybe you pay like a very small amount of MT, like I don't know, like a 500 MT. You get to try him out for like 5 games, and then that's it. And you can't take him online. And then you can decide from that, oh, I like his jumper, or I don't like the way his behind the back looks, so I am going to buy him or I'm not going to buy him. And now 2K, while they didn't do that, this is kind of realistically the next best thing. And I want to, I'm going to echo all of
Can
Harry's
I ask
points.
you really quickly?
Yeah, sure, sure.
What makes what you said, and I'm not like arguing, I'm curious, like what makes what you said better than this? Is it the fact that you can just you can pick any card as
Yes, that's
opposed to
all
this
it
where it's
is.
more
You're in
random?
control.
Okay.
You're in control.
Are
That's
you
all it
opposed? Let
is.
me ask then. Are you opposed? Because I'm not opposed to this. Are you opposed to being able to use them online for 5 games?
I think that's totally fine.
Okay.
I'm just
I
never
do
going to
too.
really
I
use
think
them
8 would
myself.
be ridiculous. I
But you
think
know
5
what?
is a good.
No, I think 5 is good, and what I will say is I do think these free agent cards, to your earlier point, are actually much more viable online because they're actual promo cards. Whereas the previous free agent
Right.
cards, they felt like if there was like an NBA Series 3, you know how we usually get NBA Series 1 and 2 throughout the year with like the basic generic versions of cards, right? Like the Pink Diamond Series 2 LeBron that we're going to get in like March is going to have like 10 gold badges, whereas like the Pink Diamond LeBron that we get in November is going to have Hall of Fame badges. Like the promo versions of cards are always better than the generic Series 1 and Series 2 cards. And those free agent cards, they just felt like reskinned versions of those cards. They rarely ever had better badges. And the thing that I also really like, and this is where, as someone who is, I'm saying I would like to see free agents be something that we can have control over which ones we get, even if we have to pay a
Yeah.
little bit to get them to try them out. Here's the counterpoint with us now getting so many of these free agents, for example, for me and for Harry, in breakout or in prize balls or however you get these free agent
Right.
cards. Last year, and this is the only point I wanted to bring up, Harry. This is why I wanted to talk about it, because I knew you were very passionate about basically everything that I wanted to talk about with free agents. The only thing I want to add, have you gotten a duplicate free agent yet?
Yeah, and I'm curious now what negative you come up with because I have a positive. I was
No,
actually thinking
I
of
have a
something else.
positive. Last
Yeah,
year,
I
they quick
like that
sold
I
for
have
1
a. Oh,
MT.
sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Yes,
last year they quick
exactly.
sold for 1 MT. This year they quick sold for
1,000.
whatever that tier amount is. I quick sold a duplicate Pink
Okay.
Diamond Kevin Durant free agent, and he sold for 2,000 MT. So now when you see a free agent on your
Hmm.
breakout board, it's not the worst thing in the world, because if it's a brand new one, okay, that's another card that I can trial out later, or I can take him
Right.
online. And if it's a dupe, that's a guaranteed 1,000 or 2,000 MT. It's not
Well,
the
yeah,
worst thing
and
in the world.
not only that, but I mean, it's the same thing as you're saying. But like, even if you like, I have a DeMarcus Cousins the diamond, so I got the free agent diamond today. I got the quick sell that for 2,000. So it's even if you have the card,
Yeah.
because that technically is the identical card of it, which is pretty cool.
Exactly. So it is really cool. And obviously, for the record, it's not the identical card in terms of like you can't use it in the exchange. Like I think some people had the free agent versions of some of the wild gems cards or the hidden gems or whatever that were able to go into the wild gem sets from Tuesday's super pack.
Mhm.
We will talk about all that later.
But now they're actually, yeah.
But all I'm going to say is while they can't go into the exchange, they're still the same player, which I love the fact that they're actual
He's awesome.
good players. Like that's really
I like
really
that they
cool.
get the card design too. It's like a complete clone of it.
That's really neat. So, I think that's all we have. Anything else you want to
People
add?
are going to be commenting like, "Who cares?" You know what I mean?
And that's
But I think
totally
it's because
fine.
they've spent so many years of them being neglected. I think they need a couple of years of this before it's become less and less of a. All right, they're a noob. They have free agent cards. To, oh, cool! I got a Wemby. I can try that online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like these are actual viable cards to use online. And again, we're not saying free agents are the best thing to happen in my team. Like what they're doing now is the best thing to happen in my team in a long time. It's a
No,
nice thing to have.
it's a
That's all
quality
it
of
is.
life
Quality of
change.
life improvement. Absolutely. Let's
Yeah,
dive into the game modes, Harry, and I want you to talk about
do it.
domination because you've played a lot of domination. I want to hear your thoughts on domination as a whole, and then I want you to talk about what your thoughts are on the crest. If you want to talk about what happened on Friday, by the way, with that little glitch where if you played whatever it was, 5 games or a full division, you got the same reward as what you would get for getting all the crests. You can talk about that too. But I want your general take on domination since you completed, I think, the NBA one, right? Or did you complete both?
Oh, I did all of them.
You did both. Okay, well then good. You're the perfect person to talk to about this. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I love domination. That's always my go-to in the beginning of the year. And I think this year they did a really good job. They really upgraded it a lot. I mean, I think the objective, I mean, oh God, we will talk about the objectives. But I do think the concept of objectives is really solid. The fact that you can make an extra 1500 MT from doing the objective. Some of them are really easy, some of them are near impossible with the gameplay.
Yeah.
But I think it's awesome the fact that you get 2,500 max for doing it, plus 1,500 you get walk away with 4,000, and then if you do all the objectives, you can get a 92 plus an additional player from Dom. It was funny at first. There was a glitch where you got it in the first 5 games, so a lot of us assumed that you get a 92 after every or 92 plus after every division, which I was like, wow, this is like the most rewarding thing 2K's ever done, and of course that was a glitch. But overall, I think they did a really good job. There's more stuff to look forward to. I like that it wasn't, domination can get boring sometimes when you're just playing a full game, like with turning your brain on autopilot. So I like that they kind of gave you objectives to kind of focus on throughout the game, just so you can hit that thing. Um, I do. At first, I thought, it's funny when we first did the pod a while ago. I thought the rewards were kind of underwhelming, but Pascal Siakam is incredible. I think he's
Really?
really good. He's honestly one of my favorite cards. So I think they did a real. Sorry, do you cut out?
No, no, I'm good. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, so yeah, I think the domination reward was pretty good. Moving on to WNBA, I'm not the biggest fan of WNBA players. Being in the game,
Yes.
I said to Jen, ironically, that I wouldn't do it for a million MT using a WNBA player. And that domination addiction I have sucked me into a
Okay,
long,
yeah.
a
Mm-hmm.
long um, I will say that to me was like insane because I'll quickly say there was one objective with getting 10 blocks, and I think that like I was so stubborn to get this done. It was the most like I was getting so heated because as much as I loved this gameplay, this is not a very defensive driven gameplay, which I'm fine with, but when you need 10 blocks on a game that's very hard to get steals or blocks and do all that stuff, especially with women getting blocks who like the max height or the average height is like under 6 foot. It's just ridiculous. Like I must have restarted that game like 100 times. And I'm not even kidding, legitimately 100 times. Like I didn't even need the 92 plus. I knew it wasn't probably going to benefit my life or my team, but I was like, I have to just get this done. Like it was hurting my brain that I just couldn't beat it, so I did it over and over and over again. I finally did it. So that would have been my only complaint, that I just think some of the objectives didn't fit the gameplay this year because, like I said, it's a very offensive driven. So some of the defensive ones, I just felt were like close to impossible, like the steals or the blocks. I think were pretty hard. But other than that, I think they did a good job. I mean, domination, you expect it to be the same thing every year, but I like that
Mm-hmm.
they added more ways to make MT. You can easily make over 200k from the first Dom alone with all the MT conference rewards, division rewards, the objective. You can make a lot of MT. So if you haven't done Dom yet, I recommend doing it. I always advise you to do it that first week. Sell everything you get, every collectible, because everything is value in the beginning of 2K. So especially with badges, because badges are not in packs as frequently because of the whole coach upgrade, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Yep.
So any badge you get from domination, and you get a lot of them, they have pretty good value. So you definitely walk away with some good MT. So yeah, I think they did a really good job with Dom. I always like when they take something that we're just used to being the same every year and they find a way to upgrade it.
Yeah, no, perfect. I don't really have anything to add to domination because again, I've only played like 3 domination games. But I do agree that some of these agendas are pretty difficult to get done, like those the crest agendas, because of where defense is, and that is the one thing that I would like to see fixed in gameplay is that whole shot contest system. But I don't want that to come at the expense of us losing what we have offensively
No,
and
and,
scoring.
I'll quickly add, like, you can argue that also 2K, like I mean, I got the 92 plus, so I'm not like I shouldn't be complaining, but like I just feel like there's really nothing to lose by just keeping like the glitch the way it is and just acknowledging, all right, we screwed up. Like, let's not like. I just think it's unfair for people like Jan or other people that didn't get to capitalize it. To be honest, like I do think like what's the worst? Like it literally just you're just getting a card early instead of having to do all these ridiculous objectives. But I mean, either way, solid reward nonetheless.
No, definitely. I completely agree. And you got Rex Chapman out of the NBA one, right?
I did, and he's one of my favorite players. I had Rex Chapman in 2K18, and he was like one of the best collection
Yeah.
rewards that I had.
Hmm.
So I love that card. He's super fun. So yeah, I'm glad I got him.
Yeah, no, Rex Chapman's awesome. Hopefully, I'll get him eventually if I ever get a
I
Diamond
hope.
Hidden Gems pack. We'll see. I want to talk about. So our next game mode is Breakout, but I think we covered general
Yeah.
Breakout a good amount. I want to talk about Gauntlet, which is a game mode that, to be clear, Harry and I have not even attempted yet. But the
No.
idea was pretty exciting when we read about it in. I
Mm.
think it was in the Courtside Report too. We read about it in
Yeah.
there, and I think now that we actually understand how it works, it's still exciting, which is actually pretty rare for a
Yeah.
thing with 2K where it's like we don't know how it works. Okay, now we know, but it
But the
sucks.
more you learn how to do it, you don't like
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And
Now
this
it's
is
like,
actually the more I learned about it, I was like, I was wrong about all my initial, predictions about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, exactly. So, I mean, all I'm gonna say is I'm personally waiting until I get more players in my collection. But the idea
Yeah.
of treating Gauntlet as potentially the premier game mode to play every single season when you're trying to grind for those season mode rewards, like this season we have Jack Sigma, Glenn Rice, and Jason Kidd. If maybe not this season, but in season 2, if I have enough players, I'm probably going to give it a go because I feel like it's right up my alley bringing in the lower tier cards earlier on. I mean, when it comes to offline grinding and me uploading content on how to efficiently grind out game modes, all I do is find the budget cards to bring into offline
Yeah.
game mode. So I'm very excited about that. Harry, why are you so excited about Gauntlet? Because that actually caught me off guard when you told me you were looking forward to playing it earlier this week.
Yeah, I want to preface something for the record. I feel like and maybe it's just because I haven't enjoyed the gameplay enough to really appreciate it in the past, but like, you know me, I'm a grinder. I feel like sometimes you feel like I'm not an
No,
offline
you're
grinder. I
definitely
mean,
a grinder,
I went
yes.
back to, yeah, like I like those offline grinds where you can just turn Netflix on, chill, play the game. But yeah, so I definitely, if anyone would appreciate this mode like Jan, it would also be me. I think it's a great idea. I like like Jan said, I feel like the baseline they have right now, if not fixed, is perfect. Literally, and I'm using the P word, I'm using perfect. If they
Wow.
can make Breakout a core mode that you can play all year, you can grind MT, you can get players, you can work your way to this and that, and then you have the Gauntlet, which is more of your like competitive offline thing. I think it's sick. I don't think we've ever had a competitive offline mode where you're really challenging yourself to play on harder difficulties, get rewards. I think it's really cool. It's a very cool concept. When they first announced it in the blog and they said, oh, it was going to be a big prize, I figured, all right, when 2K is vague about a prize, you know it's going to be bad. But I
Yeah.
was actually I was pleasantly surprised to find that this was also being added to the list of modes that you can compete to get those pink diamonds. So I think it's
Yeah.
great. And I think one thing that really excites me is, and I was telling this to Jan a while ago when we were texting, I kind of compare this in a way to the card collecting that used to be bigger in 2K. Now it's kind of like a nothing, but back in the day, like 2K17, if you collected all the cards or a lot of cards, you would get the pink diamond Kobe. Other years they had big cards. For me, it was like I always loved the concept, but I love my MT so much that I never wanted to really invest all that MT to get all those cards to get that big reveal, because no player was worth that. But I think for me, like, I really like that you need a lot of players for this. Like, sure, you can argue that it's unfair that the money spenders get the advantage, but it's 200, 300 cards. We're all going to get there at some point, especially if you play the game. But I like that this is like a mini version of that, where I'm going to be excited for unsellable cards, something I never cared about in the past because they're not getting me MT, but now I'm excited to get cards. I might be excited to use my MT to buy players so I can add them to my card collection. It's like a mini thing that I can do where I don't have to invest millions of MT to get to thousands of cards or whatever I need. This is just kind of a mini way that'll kind of get me out of my comfort level, because Jan and I are both very frugal, admittingly, to
Yes.
spend that MT.
Yes.
so we can build up our team and get that. And like there's so many layers that I'm excited for. I'm excited to now get like anytime I get an 80 plus pack from Breakout. Before I'd hate that. Oh god, an 80 plus that would do nothing for me day one when we're starting the game with pink diamonds. Now I'm like, cool, I get another 80 plus that I can use for the gauntlet, you know. And then any budget player that might come out, like if a gold player that comes out that has really that's like good sigs, a good shot, I'm gonna be excited to try him out in the gauntlet. So I just think this is such a cool concept. So I really think that pairing that with the breakout, like I just think it's awesome, and I really hope that they just keep doing it because. And also at first, I think and that maybe I don't know if they changed it or maybe I misinterpreted it, but I thought that if you do the objective, you're not guaranteed your player back. So I thought maybe on the Hall of Fame levels that could be annoying that you do an objective for no reason where the game is already hard. But I love that you're guaranteed to get your player back. So when you're on the harder difficulties and you're playing triple threat, which seems to be most of the games. I heard that out of 100 games, I know Most Ballin said he played 71 triple threat, which is great. And on the Hall of Fame, on the higher difficulties, you can do 3 objectives. So you can maybe even keep all 3 of your players for doing it. So yeah, like I said, to wrap it up, I think it's a great idea. I think this is one of 2K's better ideas, and I'm glad that it gives you something to look forward to for at least the first couple seasons when you're building up your collection.
Absolutely. No, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I think if they continue to update the rewards, because there are rewards you can get on the side, I feel like for me
that's right.
What's great with Breakout is like with regular Breakout, like the rewards feel good, but I'm worried about the longevity of Breakout if the rewards don't improve over time. I feel like so far they're off to a good start, but I need to see it to believe it. With Gauntlet, I feel like there's actually like they can't really improve Gauntlet too much because you're not playing Gauntlet for the rewards along the side. You're playing it because if you complete it, you get that mode completion. And unless 2K changes that, like this game mode should be safe for the entire year.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And that was my point from before. This isn't like spending millions of MT to get one player. This is, you might have to make an investment, especially early on if you want to play like season 1, maybe season 2. Then you pretty much, if it keeps this way all year, you get a guaranteed card that's up with the tiers, like the current tiers every season. Like now pink diamonds are the highest cards, so you can get a pink diamond. If it's like that all year, like I think that's an awesome investment to make. And the more cards you get from Breakout, from Park, from all these things, then you can just keep selling your auctionable cards and you'll have your collection, because once you have your set 200 300 cards and you're good to go, you can probably run that all year because I don't know if we mentioned, but you're playing teams of similar tier cards, so those gold players are going to be great for you all year long, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's a great game mode. Again, for me, I have to say it's a great game mode in theory because I haven't played it. I've only seen other people play it and talk about it. But the concept is great, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully being able to play this game mode in season 2, or hopefully sooner. But if I'm able to get a couple of the pink diamonds that we are able to get just from playing regular Breakout, then I'm probably going to save the Gauntlet for next season when I have a much more stacked collection, hopefully, to be able to bring into that game mode. The other game modes, let's talk about All-Star Team Up, which I think both you and I have only played at least once, right? Because we had the agenda last Friday. All I'm going to say about it real quick, I mean, I've heard it's a lot of fun, and I do want to play it more once I get some better players. My biggest issue with it right now is the way I understand it, there's no way to like bring your friends with you into All-Star Team Up unless you're all in the same crew, which maybe that's like not a big issue for like a lot of people. And to be fair, it's not a huge issue with me, but like if you have to add someone to your crew just to play All-Star Team Up, it feels like kind of like what Harry was probably saying back in August. They're taking a game mode that a lot of people like to play casually in the Play Now menu, and now they're not only gatekeeping it behind it being in MyTeam, but now they're forcing you to set up a crew and bring your friends who are all probably playing that game mode with you in Play Now. Have them all bring their players in MyTeam and their accounts into your crew. It's like a whole convoluted setup. I just don't really love that all that much, and I also don't love that the rewards seem to all be crew-based, again, to my understanding, and not individual-based. What are your thoughts on All-Star Team Up, Harry?
Before I tear down this mode, because this might be a hot take. This is my least favorite mode of 2K26.
Wow.
I want to preface, I'm not an All-Star Team Up guy to begin with, so for the kind of people that are into that sort of thing, that's the kind of thing those people are going to be into. Like, this is just not for me. I didn't really appreciate it when it was in the game, when, you know, in the older 2Ks, when you can access it from playing out. It's just not my thing. Like, if I'm going to play 5v5, like, I'd rather just play 5v5 with, like, myself just controlling it. Like, I think it's different when you're playing triple threat. Like, co-op is one thing, but when you have 5 players against 5 other people, I just think it's just, for me, it's an overwhelming online experience that where you just have very limited control over. So it's just not for me. But I also just think this is the most like tone deaf like decision to bring a game, because this is just, everything to me is a flop. I mean, people don't love All-Star Team Up because they like the 5v5 rec scenario kind of thing. They like All-Star Team Up because they get to play with their friends. So to me, it's like the fact that you can't even do that unless it's like pure randomness of being in the same park and then going into the thing to get, like, it's just stupid. Like, I just think no one, the reason people wanted it back was to play with friends. No one played All-Star Team Up alone. I just feel like it just wasn't the point. And then to make it so you have to get the main rewards, the biggest rewards you get are from playing with the crew, the same group of people. It's not like one person, 2 people. So not only are you forced to play with random people, but the objective is to then stay with these random people for 5+ games, which is just absurd, because what are the odds of doing that? Like, it just, you know, I played 1 game and 2 of the people I played with on my team quit. So did I just waste a game if I wanted to keep going for those bigger rewards? Like, it to me, it's just ridiculous. I think the only positive is that you only need 100 wins to get the pink diamond, which I think compared to some of the other modes outside of Breakout, I don't think it's terrible. But yeah, for me, it's just not a game that's for me. But I just, the way they executed it was terrible, and I feel awful for the play now people that have been wanting this for years, and they have been neglected for years. And then they gatekeep it behind a paywall for the only reason, the only way you're going to enjoy it is if you pay to get these good players. So yeah, it's just not for me to begin with, but I think this was like the most poorly executed mode this year by far.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wish I could have played it more just so I could have more of an opinion on it, but I think me not playing it more is a product of me just not being that excited about it. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna play co-op, I'd rather play co-op with like my friends in the park. And there is an issue with
Yeah.
crossplay, at least that I think is still a thing right
Yeah.
now. I feel like, again, to Harry's point, like, I've played Rec in the past and I love playing Rec. I think Rec is a really fun game mode to play. I just don't know if my love of Rec translates to a love of
It just
playing
doesn't work.
All-Star Team Up. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of
Because
feels
I think
forced.
rec is like yeah, exactly, it's forced, and like the whole point of rec is like, I think it's different with the my player, because rec is such a realistic, it's like a pickup game basketball. It just doesn't make any sense with like NBA, you know what I mean? It's not the same thing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But again, we talked about Park. Why don't we move on to Park now? And we're not going to talk about the Sunday event, which is going to be happening on the day that this podcast goes live. We'll talk about that in a little bit. General thoughts on Park. I think coming into the year, you and I were both excited at 2s coming into the game. But we saw in the pictures that there were only going to be 2 2s courts, and that does seem to be the case, which is fine. I don't really like it. It is what it is. You can just keep reloading courts until you find a 2v2 court that's available, I guess. But generally, I feel like I was excited about that coming back. I still wish that we got instant matchmaking back for Triple Threat Online, which I know Harry is very passionate about. But I guess it's cool it's back. I just want to see how they implement the rewards. The rewards do seem to be better than last year, and they are bringing in these streak busters. Almost forgot the name of it. Which I guess the concept's kind of cool too. It just feels like a marginal upgrade from what we got last year. Again, I enjoyed Park the longer I played Park, like further into the year when I was playing it for those, the different festivals or events for those Sunday streaks to get those collectibles. Like, that was fun, but I just want Park to be a more exciting game mode to play day in and day out. Harry, what are your thoughts on Park in 2K26 MyTeam?
Yeah, listen, for the people who have watched, you guys watched these pods with Jan and I, you've probably heard me say the same thing about Park like 100 times. So I'm not gonna do a whole promo on it. I'm just gonna quickly summarize in 1 second. I love Triple Threat. It's my favorite mode in 2K. It has been since forever. 2K17. Playing the Gauntlet, I love 3-on-3 basketball. I also love instant matchmaking. I think that it's great for co-op. It's an experience to play with friends. I think it's awful for a 1v1 scenario where you're controlling 3 people and you're playing other 3 people, because I just think it went from a mode that used to be so much fun to bring in different lineups, run budget players, run all these different things. Now you're forced to have to wait for games, and it takes out the fun of wanting to bring in lesser players or different lineups, because all right, if I lose, that means I might have to wait like 10 minutes to play a game, and then that just takes away my time to play the game. So to me, I just I hate it, and that's something I really was a downer for me, because I think that if this would have been such a fun year, because I love the gameplay to play Triple Threat a lot more because instant matchmaking, but I just don't like it. And then I think this year they kind of make it worse because they take you so far away from the 3-on-3 courts. It's absurd. To the point where like they literally make it hard for you to load into a park and get a game, because someone is probably going to be nearby the court whether they lose or they're already playing. You have to walk all the way from that stupid My Player store that they put you in all the way up this huge ramp of courts all the way to the end to get to the courts where you can play you against someone else. I just think it's ridiculous. So it makes it even harder for you to get a game when you first join, adding more time to the experience. Other than that, some positives I like. I like the quality of life change of adding the win. One thing that really I feel like isn't talked about enough. I like that you can the wins that you get in the park are actually in the park. You don't have to go to the agendas and look at your whatever. I like that they track your wins actually in the mode, which is awesome.
Cool.
The rewards are definitely better. It might sound dumb, but I like the instead of going 5-0 and getting some dumb like 84 plus pack that won't do anything for your team. I like that you get 5k MT, plain and simple. You get 600 MT per win, so you do that plus 5,000. You're getting 8k for 5 games, which I think is pretty solid because the games are like 5 minutes or whatever, however long they are. So not bad. I think the Streak Buster thing is a cool idea. I just wish you can repeat them, because I feel that like I like that, before, if you saw a team that was like 10-0, no one ever wanted to play them, because why would I want to play them, lose, and have to wait for another game? Now there's an incentive to get MT, get players. But the fact that you can't repeat it, I think is a bit dumb. I know that 2K doesn't like to reward you twice in one day. Why would they? You know what I mean?
I
But
know.
all jokes aside, the fact that like I just think it's ridiculous. You beat a 5-game win streak, so then if I see another 5-game win streak, now there's no purpose of playing it. It just doesn't make sense. But I do like that they stepped up the rewards, and I like that they're MT centric. It really feels like this year they're doing a way better job of rewarding you for MT, whether breakout, triple threat, for both the undefeated streaks and the park streaks. I like that there's rewards even for beating a top rep person. Like I did that the first day. I got 5 times
Oh, that's
MT
right. I
and 5
forgot about
times
that.
rep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and rep, which is cool. So it really does feel like they're trying harder to reward the people for playing the game, which I like. And also one more positive.
Sure.
I'm trying to find the positives because I
That's
don't love
good.
the instant matchmaking stuff. I really love the park itself, the layout. I really did not like the daytime. What was it? The what do you call it? It's not Sunset Beach. The
Is it not Sunset Beach?
wh-
Oh, what we had last year, the Motor City, whatever it
yeah,
was called.
motor.
Or
Yeah. I
Rivet
just
City?
got so
Rivet City, I
whatever
think.
it was, Rivet. I just got so sick of that day skyline sunny court. By like season 2, I already did not want to look at that court without throwing up. I'm a very dark color person, so I love the dark, sunset vibes. This is a court I'm not gonna get sick of. I can already tell. I just love how
Yeah.
it looks. So yeah, I think they did a good job. At least I like how they're rewarding you better for it. But overall, I just wish they had something. I'd be fine if they gave us instant matchmaking with 0 rewards. I don't need any rewards. I just want to casually be able to play 3-on-3 basketball, which obviously they do not want to give us. Hopefully next year maybe, but at least I'm glad. I'll
Yeah.
put it like that.
No, definitely. And see, even like with you just talking about it, there are so many things about Park that I either didn't know or I just forgot. So I want to amend my
Yeah.
statement. I apologize for saying that the rewards are marginally better. Again, I haven't really played much of this game, honestly, over the last week. And what I have played of this game, it's been in Breakout. Like, it's been almost strictly offline. I got on Park actually for the first time today, just because we need, I think, 10 points, rebounds, and assists in Park for the 10 pack
Yeah,
pops for the
which
Friday
I liked.
promo. No, which is nice. Like, I'm glad I got to go in there and I got to play it. and I played I think a couple of 3v3 games with my Amethyst Julius Randle, and everyone had pink diamonds, which was hilarious. But anyways,
Oh, and let me say one more thing.
yeah, sure.
One thing I really like about this triple threat is because, and it's because of the gameplay. I think this gameplay is so offensive driven that this would be the year where you maybe can bring like lesser cards in there. Because I think if you're good with the player, you're good with the shooting. I think really anyone could be good this year, which is awesome. So, I think this, even though it makes me like less want to bring in lower tier players because of the waiting times. I think if there's any year where you had a better chance of winning because of the gameplay, it would be this year.
Yeah, so with that being said, you can definitely bring your Amethyst Julius Randle like me, and maybe you'll rattle off
Yeah.
25 wins in a row for that reward tomorrow. So, which I guess we can just quickly touch on it before we move on to the next game mode. How ridiculous do you think it is that we need to win 25 games in a row tomorrow? And I'm gonna bring up the graphic right now while Harry shares his thoughts about how excited he is about grinding out 25 wins in a row tomorrow, or today, if you're watching this video today, in the park for what is it, a 92 overall?
Yeah, the rewards are just terrible. The odds of going 25-0 is just, I mean, and I'll also preface, I'm not a fan of undefeated being the only way to get rewards. Like I wasn't a fan of the 12-0 for unlimited. It just feels like I wish there was better ways to reward you without having. I wish there was like a go 10-1, like at least something. Give us one loss or something. That's to me is what I prefer. But I mean, maybe it is nice that they give you 5K for a 3-game win streak, so at least you have a minor thing to look forward to. But beyond that, the rewards are just horrendous. There's literally nothing to look forward to. The streak buster rewards are pretty non-existent. The undefeated rewards after like 3 wins is pretty pointless. Like, I don't know. You can read the rewards if you want. I don't have them on me right now, but none of them were exciting. And it just blows my mind that, like, it felt like 2K did so much promotion for 2K leading up to, like, the first weekend with all those VC locker codes and everything. It just feels like the second the game is launched, they're back to not caring because, like, you would think at least that first weekend they would make a fun reward to grind for, but, like, it's such bare bones. Like, why? The same time that you could be going 5-0, 10-0, whatever, you would get way more just from playing Breakout.
Yeah.
And you'd have less stress, you know what I mean? So I don't know who this is for. Like, what is there to gain from playing this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally with you. I really don't know what they're thinking, and kind of like with what we got on Tuesday, and we are going to talk about the content towards the end of the video here. I'm hoping that this is not like a one-off, but I'm hoping that we do get more specialized Sunday park win streaks in the same way that I hope we don't just get super packs every single Tuesday for the entirety of NBA 2K26 MyTeam, just so I can read out the rewards. Because to Harry's point, I don't know how big this is going to show up on the screen when you guys are watching this video. To win 1 game will get you a rival pack, the regular Friday promo pack. 3 wins gets you 5K MT. 5 games in a row, and then 10 games in a row will get you deluxe packs from the Arrival set. 15 wins will get you a Hall of Fame badge. 20 will get you 20,000 MT. And then if you hit 25 wins in a row, you can finally use the bathroom, and you get a 92 plus overall.
But 25, do you know how hard that is to go 25 and like? Do you know how ridiculous that sounds going 25-0, and then you get a card that's like literally so like it's not even an updated tier card compared to what that's nothing compared to like a pink diamond that are out right now.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's like that to me is like a spit in the face. Like that is to me is the definition of like we don't value your time, and like if you want to try it's because you have like nothing else. Like it's like you should not be doing this. I'm sorry. I like don't even try to do it. You're just wasting your time, and you're giving you should not give 2K the validation of grinding for it, because those rewards are just such a spit in the face to people who play the game.
No, absolutely. And look, I am not one to ever throw shade at anyone. This is just me kind of poking fun at it. This content is really what I'm going to just call Carlo content. Like if you're someone who just plays this game for more than half of the year, then this is a great thing for you to grind, because you're gonna play the game.
The people who are going to sit, the people that are going to sit, exactly, the people who are going to spend their Sunday, their free day playing the park anyways. Like these are for that people. At least they have something else to go for. But it just like there's literally nothing to get excited for. Nothing that's like realistically doable. Like I think the only good reward, or only solid reward maybe, or decent I should say, is the 5K for 3 wins, because I think 3 wins is super doable. You get a quick 5K, but like there's nothing else that I would recommend going for. That's like in terms of being realistic to try to aim for, regardless of skill level, or even just like any reward to be excited about because there's just not. And I just also think in general these Sunday events have been, I would say honestly, and this isn't even a like exaggeration, I would say from the beginning of 2K25 they've been like 95% terrible. Like I just think even then later on in the year I wasn't even playing, but then doing it the 5-0 for those stupid event cards or whatever those were, like I just think they've just boring. I really don't think 2K has done a good job at all of making these Sunday events must play. And it's sad because I know Jan is busy tomorrow anyways, but like that could have been a fun day where we were like, let's try twos for the first time, and if we could with the cross platform and see how many wins we can get, or even for fun. But like, even if Jan was free and I was free, to me, like I just don't want to give 2K that validation of giving them my time with such terrible rewards, regardless of whether we're gonna have fun or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like I was joking with Harry earlier before we even knew what the rewards were that, today for you guys, tomorrow for me and Harry, is going to be the first NFL Sunday of the regular season. And my friend had reached out to me asking if he wanted to get together with a few friends, to watch all the games tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there at 1:00. And when I saw what we have in park tomorrow, I was tempted to text him to be like, hey, you want to start drinking at like 10 a.m.? Because I'm going to need to drink 3 hours before kickoff to get over how awful, like this to me is terrible. The only thing I'll say is to Harry's point, three games in a row for 5K. That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
5 games in a row for it's going to be at least an Amethyst player. That's not awful.
What is 5-0?
If you get 5 wins in a row, you get it's a deluxe pack. So you're going to get at least an Amethyst player. Maybe you hit the plus. I will say with rewards, I've hit the plus a few times. I'm sure Harry has. I've seen a lot of people hit the plus. Like you get a 90 plus, all of a sudden it's a diamond. You have a 84 plus, all of a sudden you hit a ruby. Like that could happen, but I'm just not gonna get excited.
I just wish it would be so much better if it was like they should just make this like a weekend league kind of event. Like you have 25 games or whatever, how many wins you can get. Like I just wish it was something like I'm so sick of these undefeated things. They're just not fun. Like I just for the people that like the sweat like that and try to go undefeated, like cool, but like to me it's just like, again, it's like that to me is like you're like kind of like what I said about the gameplay. You're spending more time just wanting the destination, but like I just feel like you cannot have fun with the journey. Just sweating to go undefeated online for hours in a day, it's just not fun.
Yeah. So personally, I'm hoping we see better rewards from 2K that are easier to obtain. Like even if they keep this same general reward structure, but they make it less wins, I'm cool with that. But anyway.
Like for a 25 win streak, you should be getting like 50K or something. Like it should be something like that's so rare to begin with. Like how many people are really going to go 25-0? Yeah. And also, I want you to mention it because you brought it up to me. Explain like the insane like tone deaf issue with that whole streak buster thing.
Oh, so my issue with
intervals.
This, it's just, it doesn't really seem logical. So if you guys look at the bottom, it shows if you break the 3-win streak, you get 1,000 MT, break 5 wins, 2,500, 10 wins, 5K, 20 wins, 10K, then 25 wins, 15K. In my America, we would have streak busters that would trigger at 4 wins, 4 wins, what is that? 9 wins, 19 wins, and 24 wins. And if you're wondering why I've subtracted 1 from each, if I'm playing against the team that's on a 24-game win streak, they're going to be locked in for their 25th game. I'm going to be locked in to break that 25-game streak, because if I break their 24-game streak, I'm going to walk away with 15,000 MT. That's the whole point of your
streak buster. You're busting their streak is already done at 25. So let me tell you it's something. Over.
In Jan's America, if Jan and Harry rattled off 25 wins in a row, and we saw another duo queued up, unless that duo was like Mr. Clutch and Tony, Harry and I are not donating 15,000 MT. No, we are going to walk away, and you guys are not going to get your 15,000 MT. And you can't be mad at me. Be mad at 2K for giving you this freaking streak buster that triggers at 25.
That's the definition that's the definition of don't hate the player, hate the game. Like this is purely on the game.
Exactly. And 2K is not even trying to hide. In my opinion, this is just 2K's way of being like, we don't want you to get that 15,000 MT, which is kind of hilarious, but it is what it is. Look, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. The last thing I'll say about this is my big fear. Last year, I had a really hard time in a lot of my Sundays when I was grinding out park streaks for 5 in a row. we had a really hard time finding people to play us when we hit 4 in a row. We now have to win 21 more games than that this year in a row. It just makes me feel like matchmaking was somewhat of an issue last year in terms of how long it took for you to find games. With there being 25 games, I don't even want to think about if you get 25 games in a row done in your first run, how long that's going to take you, you know?
Oh yeah.
And then what's going to happen if you hit 21 in a row, 22 in a row, God forbid you hit 24 in a row, and then you lose that game and you don't get that 92 plus? You're not going to want to redo that run unless you're
That's what I hate about
Carlo.
the undefeated thing. It's
Yeah,
like, well, yeah, but it's like going 11-0 and unlimited and losing. You just wasted that whole thing and you gained nothing in the process. Like there has to be, like there's honestly, what would be the one thing that would fix this all? And
what?
even if they didn't change the rewards, make it so you repeat the rewards as you go along. You get that 5K for every 3 games you win. Like that to me would be
I
fine because
agree.
at least you're getting
That's
a
great.
shit ton of rewards along the way. But they don't care to do that.
I totally agree. I gotta say, I'm a much bigger fan of your America, actually, Harry, than mine. I think that's a great idea.
My
Repeatable
America's better than
rewards.
your
That's
America.
right. That's right. No, I love that. I love that. Again, we'll see what they end up doing with the park. This is just, to me,
Yeah.
incredibly frustrating, and I feel bad for everyone who is really, really looking forward to seeing a really good park.
You know what?
Wins
I feel bad. I feel bad for the people that were looking forward to a fun event, and I look down on the people that are actually gonna play this event tomorrow.
Wow, that is pretty funny, but well said. I get that. I get that. All right, moving on, just because I don't want to spend too much time talking about the park.
Go for it.
Salary cap. I do want to lead with salary cap, like with my take on salary cap, because that was my thing last year, right? And I want to say first and foremost, and I will make a video on this that'll probably drop later on today. So if you're watching this part of the podcast, I mean, first of all, if you made it to this point in the podcast, shout out to you. We are
God bless you.
we are an hour.
I'm just kidding.
We're an hour and 6 minutes. That was really funny. We're an hour and 6 minutes into this podcast, so shout out to you for making it this far. Salary cap was my bread and butter, especially towards the middle to latter half of 2K25, and it really became the only game mode that I made content on. Like, I really stopped making tips and tricks videos, in large part because Breakout was nothing, and there really was no other game mode for me to grind besides salary cap. They took away my offline gameplay. They took away my clutch time online. I had nothing to do. So I played salary cap and I enjoyed it. And I was excited about bringing back the salary cap report this year, about playing salary cap, especially because we have offline salary cap content this year. We can grind offline salary cap. My issue is that I ended up, I mean, at least for me, early on, I felt like playing salary cap online with my collection being where it wasn't the best idea. And I want to add to my collection so that I can actually build unique lineups, show you guys unique lineups that I can then take into salary cap and play. Because honestly, the early stages of the year, it is the most fun time to play salary cap.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe I'll end up playing some of it later on, this upcoming week or whatever, because maybe I do want to try to grind to get that 92 plus. But my priority this season is without a doubt grinding out Gauntlet to get one, maybe two of those pink diamonds between Jack Sigma, Jason Kidd, and Glenn Rice. The salary cap report will be coming back at some point, whether it's sometime this season. If not for season 2, it will definitely be coming back, because even if you're playing salary cap offline or if you're playing it online, you need to build a lineup, and that lineup is going to abide by salary cap. And I want to bring that content to you guys. In terms of what the game mode is offering this season, there was some drama because people thought if you hit 6,000 points, you were going to get the breakout mode collectible, or the season 1 mode collectible, rather, that you could use to exchange for the pink diamond Sigma, Jason Kidd, or Glenn Rice. It ended up being like a random pack that could give you like an emerald player, which is really frustrating. And I'm frustrated for all of those people who grinded out the game mode that early into the year. Like, we're still only a week in. You have to get 150 wins if you want to get that collectible to get the pink diamonds. So that's frustrating because you lose the incentive of playing online. I kind of wish they broke it up to where it was like 150 online, and then maybe you make it 70 or 75 wins, whatever it is for showdown. Make it that way for salary cap, because what happened last year with salary cap, as the year progressed, the salary cap matchmaking became even sweatier than the higher tier of showdowns matchmaking. And so I feel like you should treat online salary cap different than offline, just in terms of that pink diamond grind. In terms of the reward track, keep that the same. I love that idea. Again, I'm probably going to play it at some point. Salary cap report will come back eventually. I will talk about that more tomorrow. That's all I have to say. Harry, do you think you'll be playing salary cap at all, even if not this season, in future seasons?
Yeah, it's funny when they first said that in the blog. For the first time, I was like, you know what? That's actually a really good idea that I've
Yeah,
never thought about.
it's
Like,
a
because
great idea.
I really like salary cap, and I don't know how I never once thought, why not make this an online mode? And it just seems weird to me that like normally when 2K has like a main headline for their blog, they normally put a lot of work into it to make that the mode, the like the park or whatever. It just seems like this has already become a neglected mode and it's only the first week. Like the rewards just don't seem that great. The 150 wins just seems like a lot. Especially with the shortened salary cap games. I think the ladder just, I mean, unless I'm wrong, I just didn't seem like there was any rewards that were great. The like you said, the 600 or the 6,000 points,
Yeah, I mean,
which
they have
also
the
if you
shadow
consider
prize
for
pieces for that diamond hidden gems card, but outside of that, I
sorry
agree.
what? Yeah, outside
Yeah,
of
go
that, and
ahead.
then
Yeah,
and regardless, it's like if I'm correct, don't you progress even slower offline than
much
online?
slower, much slower.
Right. So then it's like the rewards are the same as the online, and those rewards are kind of lackluster. Like, sure, you get a diamond, but I mean, it's sad, but diamonds are already kind of becoming extinct with how many pink diamonds are coming out every week that are becoming OP. So I don't know. I kind of have such like a bad taste in my mouth from last year with salary cap, just because like it's kind of like all I played when I played my team, just because there was nothing else worth playing, and that became the most rewarding game mode. So I'm kind of just sick of salary cap, and I haven't even played it this year just because last year just gave me such a bad taste because I hated the gameplay, but I played so many games in the beginning just because it was the only rewarding mode. So I don't know, maybe I'll play it. I wish the offline was just more rewarding because it just doesn't feel like it's not like Breakout where it's like you have to play it. There just doesn't seem like any reason to play it, and it seems like I said, it's already been forgotten, and it's only the first week.
Yeah, it really does feel like if 2K actually did give you another pink diamond from playing and getting up to 6,000 points,
That would be great,
now
like
salary
75.
cap,
Yeah,
yeah, then it becomes
sure.
very, very exciting. So I think if you either do that in season 2 or you take what I propose, which is making it a separate ladder for online salary cap versus offline, keep it 150 wins, because right now, if you're only
Or
grinding
just
for the
shorten it,
pink
make it like
diamond,
100 wins.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm personally totally cool with keeping the offline at 150 because it's going to be so easy. And it's not like,
Yeah, that's true.
or if you wanted to really get into the weeds, you can make it.
Or at least reward you along the way,
Yeah.
because it just doesn't feel like you are.
No, exactly. That's my big issue.
Like at least with Breakout, like that you can, by the time you got to the that 500 wins, all the MT, all the players you're gonna get, you're making a lot throughout that whole process. You're just not progressing that way through 150 wins of salary cap.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing I'll say about salary cap is, there really is no benefit to playing online outside of getting through that rewards track faster.
That's the other weird thing, right?
What?
It's like you would think that they'd even make the online rewards better than the offline, because like, why would you play? I guess you progress slower, but it's like I feel like it's got to be worth that guaranteed win you get from offline, especially when you can pick what team you play.
Yeah, see, that's the issue for me, is if you play online, the only benefit is you get to go through the rewards track faster, which I like that concept a lot, actually. I really do. I like it being the same reward track, but
That's
it's
interesting.
slower with offline versus online. My issue is after you get that shatter prize piece, you have no reason to play online, versus if they actually made that 6,000 point reward something of note, not just like a random card that could be like a gold or an emerald or a sapphire.
Yeah.
If they made it that season 1 mode completion, because right now, like in Breakout, for example, Harry and maybe even me, we're gonna both be able to potentially walk away with 2 pink diamonds just by playing Breakout, right? 2 of Sigma, Kid, and Rice. You can't get that done in salary cap. So if you want to get 1 pink diamond, your best bet is to play 150, like in salary cap I'm talking about. Your best bet is playing 150 salary cap games offline. So now we're not playing salary cap online. And if we're only going to talk about offline game modes, if I'm playing salary cap offline and I'm trying to win 150 games in that game mode, why wouldn't I just want to play Breakout then? Like, yeah, it's more games of Breakout, but the games go faster. And even if you're spending more time playing Breakout than you are playing Salary Cap, I can still walk away with 2 pink diamonds playing Breakout, whereas I can only walk away with 1 playing Salary Cap. And that's my 100%. Issue right now.
I'll also preface
yes.
one positive that I do like, that I feel like, I don't know if Jan even knew this, but it is actually an option pack for that 92 plus that you get from Salary Cap, which is nice compared to last year, which
that
wasn't.
Makes me not want to grind that.
yeah. But again, it's like you said, like with all the modes that you can just grind a pink diamond from, it just seems weird that that's like the main staple of it, especially because you're going to get that 6,000 point a lot quicker than you will 150 wins to get the pink diamond.
Yes, no, I totally agree. I'll have to look into that. We'll see if we end up bringing Salary Cap back, because I would like to get a diamond, because I don't have any diamonds in my lineup right now, or in my collection period.
Okay, there you go.
Last game what I'm gonna talk about, rather, because we do have a miscellaneous section. Showdown. I don't have really anything to say about Showdown. I don't really care all that much about it. And King of the Court, we haven't even seen it yet. I want to wait to see what that's going to look like next weekend. Actually, you know what, Harry, we'll make this a 2-in-1. Are you going to play Showdown at all, do you think, this season or maybe in future seasons? And what's your excitement level on King of the Court from a scale of, let's say, 1 to 5?
A couple things. One with Showdown, I think this would be the first year I would play more Showdown than I normally would, just because, like I said, I'm really liking the gameplay.
Okay.
But, like, it just feels weird to me that, like, you know, a lot of people, I would say most people, were very underwhelmed by the rewards from Showdown last year. And they don't seem like they're a lot better. They still seem like it's kind of, there's nothing to really be excited for. I mean, I think the 75 wins for the pink diamond is great, and that's honestly one of the better grinds for that. But the ladder that you get on the way, I think, sucks. I think the weekly rewards that you get for hitting those objectives, like, none of them look great. So to me, I just feel like it's kind of a to me, Showdown is kind of like what Breakout was to the agendas last year. It's kind of just that platform that you can use to get the 75 wins, but other than that, you're just not gaining much from it. But other than that, for King of the Court, I am pretty pumped for it. I like that. I do feel bad for the comp people, because I do feel like you need a good comp mode for the MyTeam to be healthy, just to have it as like a mainstream mode. And I said to Janet, it just feels like a disconnect when you have guys like Splash and Debo that are known not only in 2K but other sports communities, just how good they are. It just feels like we're missing out on some big event where they could play each other on Twitch or Kick and have a big showing for it. But I mean, from my perspective, at least from someone who's not comp, I am excited to play King of the Court, just because it's pure kind of, I'm gonna say luck. Like, obviously you have to win, but like, it feels like anyone can just get lucky enough to play someone that sucks, and you can just score a lot of points. Like, it really does feel like if you're good enough to win games, that 10,000 is kind of up for grabs for anyone, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm excited. I think this could be a really fun thing to look forward to. I think part of the reason it died so quick last year was because last year it was purely for the comp, and I just think they need to do something like this every weekend for like normal people, and then they need to have one big event for the comp. I think that'd be perfect. But yeah, I'm gonna give it like an 8 or 9. I think it's be really fun. I don't know. I hope the excitement level lasts longer than it did last year. But I think the idea that anyone can win, anyone can win that 10,000 if you're good enough to win those 4 games or whatever. I think it's an awesome idea, and I think a really interesting twist on King of the Court that I don't think anyone thought they would do.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, first of all, I asked for a scale of 1 to 5, and you gave us an 8 or a 9. So you're
Jesus! I thought you said 1 through 10.
It's okay, no, I get it. I mean, look, the concept
like
is pretty exciting, and the one thing I'll say is I just want to see what the rewards are outside of that 10 grand, because I don't think I'll be getting that 10 grand.
Well, I know second place gets $1 million, but yeah. I know that, or whatever, $1 million MT.
Okay,
but there's probably, again, I just wish there was more. I wish there was more for, like, I don't know, like the 50th percentile or whatever. But
yeah,
doesn't seem like
we don't know yet. We're gonna
year.
find out. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I also know that they're gonna end up, biting me in the ass if I end up giving them any chance. So we'll have to see. We're gonna find out. I think this weekend. I think on Friday is when it's going to begin.
Oh, and also, I really like that this is the first year that they're giving us time. Normally, it's like that first weekend, King of the Court, and it's like no one even had time to grind. It's really just pure benefit of the whales that were able to to spend money day one. So I love that they gave us 2 weeks. I think it's perfect that you have time to grind, do
Yes.
domination, grind MT. I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I like that a lot too. I'm kind of alongside Harry here. Like we're kind of in lockstep. I mean, I'm pretty excited about King of the Court. I don't know how many of the weekends I'm going to play it, but the fact that we have so much time to play it, that's what I was asking for last year. Really happy we got that this year. And then again, we're gonna have to see what those rewards look like, but I'm hoping that they're, at least somewhat friendly to the people that are maybe placing top 50%, as long as you rank, and I'm sure they're going to do something to where as long as you play every week, they'll give you something. I think Evan, Harry's best friend, kind of alluded to that on the MyTeam
Oh, did he?
stream.
Okay.
I think he said like there's going to be something for everyone. Now,
Oh,
if that one something is going to be like, free agent
the
pass.
time you wasted on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like you want it to be something of note, but I at least like that everyone's gonna leave with something. I'm just hoping that if you rank somewhere, like if you place in the top 50% or better, that you get something somewhat decent is what I'm hoping for. All right, those are all the game modes. We're gonna go through, I guess, somewhat rapid fire through this miscellaneous section. Game changers. Harry, do you have any thoughts on game changers? I know there's one or two other parts of this that you want to talk about, but let's start with that because I know they were talking about that quite a bit, and we were both kind of into the idea of it, right? At least I think.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea, but I just think like I think it really disappoints me what they did with the MT game changers. Like I just think it's hard enough to make MT, and I was really impressed that 2K was giving us multipliers to make more MT. And it's like I'm not asking for 50K a game. Like it's the difference of getting 2.5K a dom versus 5K, and the fact that they made it mode specific,
Yeah.
the fact that it has to be a dom token or a break, it's ridiculous that they just can't do one thing properly and just give us a way to make MT like it really upsets me. But I think other than that, like I just think beyond MT, there's some interesting ones like the reps. You can get rep. I didn't even realize today I had like 10 of those breakout things where you can actually like skip a game, which can be pretty clutch. Later on, in your grinds. So again, I think they're cool concepts, but I just like it sucks that 2K always has to like they can't just give us something wholeheartedly because I just don't think we're asking for too much to be able to multiply our MT, because I said that for a while. If we're getting the XP tokens, why not do MT? So I just think like just make the mode specific, like come on. But other than that, it is a cool idea. I'll take it over not having it at all, I guess.
No, definitely. I agree too. I agree. I mean, I think it is cool. The one thing that we did talk about that is kind of interesting to keep an eye on as the year progresses, we're thinking that these game changer cards are replacing badges, right, in packs?
Yeah,
Which I think that could affect the value of badges.
Well, that really upset me in a sense because like normally I like to spend that pre-order VC on packs day one so I can make a lot of MT. This was like the least profitable thing I've ever pack opening I've ever done with that pre-order VC because I didn't get any badges in any of the base packs I opened. So that was like a good chunk of MT I wasn't gaining. Then plus the WNBA players I was getting that don't have much value to begin with. So yeah, it was kind of disappointing, but I'm hoping maybe the coach thing will get more exciting as we progress throughout the year.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing that I'm really excited about that they did add, because game changers were kind of meh on right now. What they've done with the rep so far this year has been really, really nice. And Harry actually reached out to me when I asked him, hey, like, what do you want to throw into this miscellaneous section? The first thing Harry said was, let's talk about rep because I actually like what changes they've made. So I guess, Harry, talk to me a little bit about what these changes are that you like. Because the one thing that, I obviously like is the fact that it just feels like we're getting more rewards along the way. Like, they've broken down each tier into, like, their own tiers. Like, now there's, like, steps 1, 2, and 3 for each gem tier. I love that we're getting rewards along the way. What do you love about it?
Yeah, I really love that. I think rep was such a colossal failure last year because it's the definition of the law of diminishing returns. There's only so many games that you can watch your tier eventually progress by not even point like 0-1 every game just because you've gone up. It's like it just becomes you don't even care about it. So when they give you those, this mode is going to be double rep. It's like who cares? It's going to be the difference of like maybe I'll get 1 point rep increase. Exactly, yeah. So to me, that's why you have the season grinds, because that should be the short-term things that you can look forward to every year. But that's become this year I think they did a great job at having great rewards so far, like the clay and all these other rewards. But at least the past couple of years, they've been super lackluster. So it felt like there just wasn't much to look forward to. And then let alone the fact that like you can hype up a Hoodie Mello or a Goat Tatum all you want, but like it's such a small fraction of people that are gonna get that. So I mean I know I was supposed to be positive, but I do wish that those end rewards were much more attainable, because I just think that the rep system is way too like niche, where like it is hard to get up there even if you play every day. But what I do like, I really like that they're actually rewarding you doing these sub unit like tiers that you can rank up for each emerald, sapphire, whatever, because now this is perfect, because now you have your long-term goals that you can look forward to, but also your short-term in between, and some of them are actually really good, like the fact that in the emerald you can make 25, I mean you get solid MT rewards. I think emerald and sapphire you maybe even get like 50k MT once you're done through all those little reps. So I think 2K did a great job, and like I said, the rewards are pretty solid. Like I just hit one of the emerald ones. They gave me every takeover badge, and like some of them are actually pretty profitable in the auction now, so that's great. The MT rewards are pretty solid. So yeah, I think this is perfect. I think this perfectly kind of fixes the issue of last year. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, so maybe we'll see if I'm wrong, but I do hope that you're able to progress to the GOAT tier a little quicker, or the whatever it is, the pink diamond or whatever the max rep is quicker this year.
No, I hope so too. One thing I'm hoping to see 2K, I want to see them modify, and I think you're probably a little more passionate about this than I am, because I don't really have much interest in playing online yet. Although again, I think talking about salary cap got me more excited about playing salary cap again. Victory cards. They kind of made it seem pretty interesting, at least to the both of us when we were watching that Twitch stream and when we were reading through the courtside report. I really liked it because it kind of felt like the concept kind of felt cool. And when they talked about the fact that you could exchange it, it made me feel like, okay, well, we don't have mini games anymore, but if we can beat someone in Showdown or in salary cap, and then we get their victory card, and then we can exchange that for more prizes, well, that's the next closest thing we can have to having mini games after every single win in online games. Unfortunately, we don't have exchanges that look all that great right now. You need isn't it like 25 victory cards to get like a promo pack or whatever?
Yeah.
So you're gonna do all that just to get like a gold series
for a standard pack, exactly.
Yeah, so that makes no sense. I mean, I think you're more upset about this than I am. Harry, what are your thoughts on these victory cards?
It's funny because as negative as I was during the last pod about what we were getting in 2K 26 MyTeam, this was something I completely overlooked during the blog, and when we started talking about it, I think you could even notice. I was like, when I really started getting a little excited, I was like, that sounds like a cool concept. The fact that you can play someone in a competitive game online, and then you pretty much get this like trophy sort of thing that you can brag about. You have your own thing, it has their logo, all this stuff. I think that's awesome. And then they brought the exchange element, where I was like, oh, like maybe if you can get a few, exchange it for like a mini game or like even a little bit of MT. And it just seems like they're just terrible. Like they're just completely non-existent. And I think it's a shame, because this could have been something really cool. And I'm not asking for much. I'm asking for like 2K standards. It could have been like exchange 5 for like 5K or something, like 5K for beating 5 wins on online, like anything. Like I just think they could have done so many even minor things that would get me excited to be like, oh cool, I can exchange it for a little MT, or you can exchange one for a door game. They're like so many small, like I'm not asking for too much, and I just feel like this was such a letdown, because it's such a cool idea, and like I never thought, this is like the salary cap like offline, like such a cool unique idea that I never once thought of, and just such an awful execution. And they've made it so like it's already dead. I forget about it like every day. It's gonna get to the point where like no one even remembers that it's in the game. So it's a shame, because like again, really cool idea, just awful execution.
Yeah, and again, like I'm really hoping 2K sees this feedback. Like I'm hoping they see that people really maybe aren't engaging with the exchange.
But I think it's become such a nothing that are people even complaining about it?
Well, I mean, probably
like, that's
not.
The issue.
Probably not, which I guess is a bit of an issue too, I guess, in its own right. But I mean, look, I hope that 2K does improve it, and I'm gonna give them some hope, or give them some faith rather, that they will. But I mean, if they don't, they don't. Honestly, it's not a huge issue for me. I just kind of wish that it was something a little better than what it ended up being, because Harry and I were both pretty into the idea of it back in August. The coach tree is kind of like a TBD for me. I'm still excited about it. I just don't have many coaches in my collection right now, and I feel like if you have good coaches, you're probably better off selling them right now to make MT. Like early on in the year, last year, I made MT that way. I think Harry pulled a pretty high tier coach this past week, right?
Yeah, and
And you sold him.
Amethyst.
Yeah, you pulled an Amethyst coach. You sold him for like what, 50 something thousand, 60 something thousand? I forget. It
Yeah,
was,
like 40K, which
yeah,
is really good in
which
the
is
beginning of the year.
insane. Yeah, that's a lot of MT. So like, why would you build up your coach tree when you can make MT like that? And then like in a season or two, sure. Like obviously having a coach that that's going to give you boost right now matters. But I feel like I'd rather make the MT, and I'll still be able to benefit from coach boosts in seasons 2 and 3. Let me make the MT now so I can buy the players who will then benefit from those coach boosts. Do you have anything you want to add about coaches, Harry, and the coach tree?
No, like I said this in the last pod, this is like the Jan Moses upgrade. Like I thought of you immediately
Yeah.
when they added this. Like I just think this is completely like this is not something that I'm super into, but I mean I'm not against. Like I think it's just another cool way to customize your my team to make your my team unique from other my teams. So I think it's a cool idea, and like I said, I hope that this works out just because I think that if this is great, this is something that you'll like look forward to all year.
Yeah,
Because
like
honestly,
yeah.
I'm never someone that like I like ironically I'll be the one to use like a gold coach for like most of the like this is not something I pay attention to, and I probably should because they're a lot of them are OP. Like you're always one to care about that stuff. So
Yeah, I'm really big in like winning on the margins because I feel like,
yeah,
skill wise, I'm not going to be as good, like especially offensively as other players, especially in a year like this one where like defense is my bread and butter and defense is really hard for me right now. In this game, I feel like I'm going to need whatever boosts I can get. So as soon as I figure out how to work that coach tree,
yeah,
there will be a
right.
video on it on this channel. Outside of that, I don't have any other notes here to talk about. My last thing that I have written down here is what's your one big concern? We're now 1 week in, and I think we're generally happy. We're going to give our grades at the end
Yeah,
here, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to know what are you most concerned about in NBA 2K26 My Team, given what we've read about in the courtside report, given what we've experienced so far 1 week into this game being out. What are you really worried about?
Um, I'll tell you. I think my biggest concern right now is I'm actually gonna go breakout because I'm loving breakout right now. But I think it's a part of me that like I'm not used to being rewarded properly for playing 2K. Like this to me, I think breakout is really good, rewarding you wise. And I'm worried that like I have that part of me that's like maybe this isn't supposed to be happening. Like maybe this is an error on 2K's part. Maybe 2K is gonna wake up the next day and realize how much MT you can make, how easy it is to get the pink diamond, and then they're gonna patch it. And then I just feel like something that I was so excited for is just gonna be kind of taken away from me without any like just immediately. So I don't know. So I'm really hoping that like this was the plan and that 2K intended for breakout to be really good this year after really bad last year. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing because overall I'm really happy with the gameplay. I'm happy with a lot of the things. I just yeah, so that and again it kind of works the same way with the park stuff. I really hope that 2K just it doesn't feel like because people are really enjoying the gameplay that they can coast off of bad rewards because they still need to put in that effort because I think this weekend is a big example of something that could have been really fun for like the people who are just getting the game at the official launch to play this a park event, and it just seems to be like very underwhelming. So I just hope that the rewards continue to be good and 2K kind of keeps trying to, I guess, do whatever they can to give us, make it so it's worth playing. Because I hate the feeling of we played something and it just wasn't worth the time of the day of playing it. I guess I just kind of have that PTSD to wrap it up. That like it's gonna go back to last year where like Park wasn't rewarding or Breakout wasn't rewarding. Like I just think we're in a good place right now, and I really hope just 2K just fixes like these little tweaks that we're working on and kind of continues to go up instead of going down because I think like I said we're in a good spot for like the first time in a long time.
No, absolutely. Breakout was gonna definitely be mine as well because the last board that I had played, the last current board I played, I had no MT amount actually above 2,500.
Actually, I haven't seen a 10K reward like I don't maybe not even today to be honest.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, I haven't seen one. I mean, I've
Yeah.
only completed one board since the game came out, and I have not seen any MT amount higher than 2,500, which is pretty scary. Now, it was only one board, so very small sample size, and I'm not gonna like panic or anything.
Right.
But that's obviously something that I want to monitor to make sure that I mean, like on that board, I ended up taking players because I need players for my collection anyways. So outside of Breakout, I think my one fear looking forward is what events are going to look like in my team, because how events started in my team last year, we at least had stuff that we could grind for as like the no money spent slash low money spent community. And then as the year went on, we saw 2K put players into events that were just flat out unobtainable. And what we're seeing so far is on our first Tuesday drop of the year, we got super packs with 5 pink diamond players that were essentially unobtainable for even certain money spenders. Like if you only spent $100 to $300 per pack drop, you were priced out of getting pink diamond Shea Gilgeous Alexander last Tuesday, which to me is insane. Like in my video that I uploaded on that, I actually had pity for the money spenders. That's how bad that content was on Tuesday. And I think that is like, I guess my general fear, actually more so than the events, is what are we going to see with Tuesday content going forward, right? I don't know if you've noticed, Harry, we have all these hidden
We
gems.
didn't even talk about that.
Exactly. I mean, we have these hidden gems that are below the amethyst tier, right? So there has to be a place where these hidden gems come into effect. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing...
Yeah, I think that's why I'm so worried about Breakout, because then it just feels like with how bad the content has been the first week of 2K, it just feels like offline grinding is and salary cap. It just feels like if Breakout continues to I don't know about continues, but if it lowers down in rewards, it's gonna feel like offline grinding is gonna be dead, like as a whole.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's the lifeline right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always said I feel like offline grinders are the lifeline of these games because, you know, in the gaming ecosystem, right? The whales are the whales. The whales need to feed off of the minnows. If the minnows aren't on this game, whales they have nothing to eat on besides other whales, and that's not really productive for them, you know. So I feel like we need to see more content wise on this game on Tuesdays, because if we're getting super packs every single Tuesday and we're just getting agendas for like rubies and below, that's gonna get old real fast. For some people it's already old and the game is
especially once Gauntlet's over and you have no need for these players.
Yeah,
in your lineup.
exactly. So it's like, you know, like you finish Gauntlet, you're not going to be like, well, I mean, I guess, can you just repeat Gauntlet over and over again to try to get all 3 season mode collectibles? Like, you know what I mean? Like, can you get 3 pink diamonds?
No,
You
can only do it once.
Yeah, so that's going to be awful then, you know. So I'm hoping that we see, you know, a little more variety when it comes to content, because I do feel like with all these lower tier hidden gems, the way I understand it, are promo cards that are going to come out in future promos. What promos are they going to drop in when Friday content is amethyst and above and Tuesday content is literally just wild gems? Where are those other hidden gems going to go? I have no idea.
Right.
It makes no sense to me. So I feel like there's something left to be seen when it comes to content that we're going to be getting. I'm hoping that 2K expands on their content on Tuesdays, because, you know, it was just 2 years ago that we were getting grindable content on Tuesdays. And, you know, even like last year, I hated Tuesday content last year. At least we knew at the end of our grind, you know, our agenda grind every Tuesday, we were going to walk away with some sort of like, you know, amethyst or diamond pack to end out that season, because we were getting shadow prize pieces. We're not even getting that right now on Tuesday. So I'm hoping that we see something different or something improved on Tuesday. I guess that's just my one big concern, is what the future of content's going to look like, because, you know, there inevitably will be a gameplay patch at some point, and I know that's going to frustrate a lot of people. And if that gameplay patch really hurts gameplay and then Harry's back to where he was in 2K25, yeah, he's going to walk away. And I think a lot of other people, maybe they won't walk away, but they're not going to play the game as much, and that's going to be really sad. So I'm hoping, you know, I don't want to become too negative here, because the gameplay experience so far has been pretty positive. I'm going to, you know, use this as a way to segue into my grade. And my grade of this game right now, honestly, I'm gonna give it a B+, and I think that's a pretty good grade.
Well, actually, can we give it a number? Because I think that's a better.
Okay, what's our scale gonna be? Out of 10? Okay.
1 through 10, but obviously you could do a point, like whatever, 4
Sure.
point set,
Okay.
whatever.
So
yeah.
if I'm doing that, I'm gonna give it I'll put it between a 7.5 and an 8.0. I feel like this game is in a much better place than it was to start the year last year, in terms of both offline gameplay. The rewards seem to be better than last year, and just like Harry said to lead off our podcast, the gameplay in general feels to be really fun, which is great. So I mean, the only thing I'll say is I'm just really having fun playing this game, and There are a few things that I am concerned about, and that's why it's not going to be like, a 10 out of 10. But I think a 7.5 to 8 honestly really good for this game, given what we have been getting at launch over the past couple of years. Harry, what's your grade?
All right, I'm gonna give you 2 grades for this. Okay,
2?
I'm gonna give you 2 grades. I'm gonna give you 1 grade, like an objective my team. Like, if I'm grading this gameplay aside, what do I think of this like my team in general experience?
Sure,
And then I'm gonna
sure.
give you my grade, adding in gameplay, how much like what I'm enjoying out of my team in general based on the gameplay.
Yeah.
So gameplay aside, if I'm evaluating this my team to its core, like content, agendas, modes, I'm gonna give it a 7.2. I think.
Okay.
I just maybe. I mean, I think that's fair. Like, I don't think because I really think that if you put this my team in like 2K25's gameplay, I just don't think I wouldn't be playing. It's just not fun. But I think with gameplay, how much I'm enjoying the gameplay and how much that makes everything I'm playing infinitely more fun. I'm giving the gameplay with my team in itself, I guess my enjoyment in the sense, an 8.6.
Wow.
I'm really enjoying. What?
I said, wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I'm really enjoying this. This is the most fun I've had on a my team in so many years, just because of the gameplay alone. It elevates everything I'm doing right now, whether breakout, park. As much as I don't love that mode, it makes everything fun. But I do think objectively there are some things to work out or to work on.
Yeah.
But at least for me, someone who values gameplay more than the content itself, and the content is more of just that cherry on top, I'm giving it an 8.6 just because I'm loving the gameplay and kind of everything else that they're giving me to do. That's worth my time. I think it's pretty solid. So yeah, 7.2 objective, 8.6 kind of biased with the gameplay.
This gameplay. Okay, awesome. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the BrothSyndi My Team show. It's always a blast to get to record with Harry. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to bring this to you guys as often as we can. We're not gonna just do one pod at the end of the season. We're gonna try to bring these in here and there. Like I figured now we hit the 1 week mark, and we did, or at least we've done 1 week podcast, as in like a week into the game, in previous years of NBA 2K My Team. So we're gonna hopefully bring you guys at least one more pod this season. At the end of the season, we'll see if we end up making another
and maybe
pod.
even a park video or
Yes.
some gameplay. I think could be fun in the future.
Yes, we were actually debating like doing this live on YouTube, doing the podcast live on YouTube, but we decided that the podcast format, the way we have it set up, is a better like YouTube video, and that if we're going to stream anything together, it's not going to be the podcast. It's going to be us actually playing the game together, us playing, ideally in the park, whether it's 2s or it's 3s with maybe one of you guys or, someone else. It'll be hopefully really entertaining content in that regard. So really looking forward to doing that with you in the future, Harry. Once again, this is the BrothSyndi My Team show. I'm your host, Jan Moses, and I'm signing out. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Peace.